17. Think what day it was over here. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran. 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys, folks, and he just made a comeback last night himself. Dale Hellestree's here, everybody.
Last night?
Everybody made a comeback last night. Mercury, Diamondbacks.
What I want to know is if this microphone is facing the right way. You didn't realize till after the show yesterday.
Actually, you know what? It must have been because we sounded good yesterday.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we've been messing around with the 3 schedule. Yeah, we sounded good yesterday.
Okay.
You get echoey when you get all comfortable and you lean back.
Yeah.
You talk like this.
Well, that's what I'm thinking and talking at the same time. I'll try not to think.
Yeah, so no, it just I think it was just the lighting made it look like I noticed it at one point. I was like, what? But of course, Bruce Cooper yesterday. Bruce Cooper said something prophetic yesterday.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about that with the D-backs. That as soon as I saw it last night and it worked out in that 9th inning, I went, Bruce Cooper's a genius. That's why we have him on the program every Tuesday.
Boy, a genius.
I know that bothers you.
Don't ever say that in front of him.
I know that. Oh, no, never do that. Never do that. You know he's not awake now, so.
That is true.
He might go catch it on demand, Real Bad TV, or on the YouTube channel. He might go catch it on demand, but by then I'll be like, nah, we just edited that to make you feel better. We didn't actually say that out there. D-backs last night, Kyler Murray spoke yesterday for the NFL media. Said one thing. Normally Kyler Murray press conferences are bland. Like they asked him, hey, what do you think about the uniforms Thursday night? It's those sand uniforms. I really like the helmets, the jerseys that I see people wear around. I see them in the team shop. Just not for me. It looks like splattered paint on there. It doesn't look like a sand thing. I don't know. I have an aversion to splattered paint from my corporate world days. But so those are the things. And Kyler Murray's response to the uniforms, I don't care. I just want to go get the dub. Literally, I just did it. I don't care. I just want to go get the W. I want to get the win. That's what I'm here for. I don't care about the uniforms. His press conferences are generally bland, but he said one thing. I'm not kidding you. I was doing something else. I was literally like taking notes, like do, and I heard him say it because I was listening to it. I heard him say it, and I went,
Huh.
What time is that? What time is that? I need to cut that part out there. And you're going to find it bland. You're going to find it nothing. That's why you come here, folks. Dale's going to be all, I don't know what you're reading into this. That's why you come here, folks.
You love to read
I decipher the truth.
You love to read into it. Whether you're right or wrong, you love to read
I'll say this. I'm more convinced today. I'm not saying Drew Pensing's on the firing block. I'm not saying that. I've never said that. I just said get him some help because he has some serious deficiencies as a play caller, play designer, etc. So I just say get him some help. There's deficiencies enough there that you can improve that position. And Jonathan Gannon on Sunday obviously was very disappointing. Going, I have no problem with this at all. Walked a little bit back in terms of he started talking about he focused more on the execution side. Where he basically said, we can put the perfect play calls in there. If the players don't execute, it won't matter, which he's got a point on that. So I'm not putting it all. I'm not one of those guys that says Drew Pensing is 100% the problem. Receivers catch balls. That's a different game on Sunday, right? Balls that hit him in the hands. It's a different game. But there's a problem. There's a problem with Drew Pensing. And I think it's all throughout the locker room, putting everything together. Not that it's a negative thing. I'm not saying like they're turning their backs on him. I just found it interesting, Dale. We'll bring that up today as well.
Well, I can't wait.
It's called a tease.
You're good at that.
Short week NFL means nobody practices, so they do. This is the stupidest thing ever. Assumed practice report or injury reports. So it's kind of dumb. But, it's interesting. What's on the Cardinals made moves yesterday. Obviously not a shocker. James Conner, IR for the rest of the season, out for the season. I didn't see it. I read a blurb that he went to practice yesterday all on a scooter, couldn't walk and stuff like that. He didn't already have his surgery, did he?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
I didn't read that he had the surgery yet.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah. Now you got to wait for the swelling. And it's his foot, not his ankle. That's what they said.
Not his ankle.
They said it's his foot.
Ooh.
So
well,
there's not a lot in a foot. If I was at the doctor yesterday for my foot, my ankle.
You get a shot?
I did. Oh, I did.
Do you feel better?
Oh my God, I can go run a marathon right now. Feels so good. Oh no, not stamina wise. I'm saying my feet, my ankle
okay.
would be good enough to run a marathon right now. No,
Okay.
I would pass out halfway through it.
Halfway?
Halfway to the starting line. But oh yeah, it feels good. But there's not a lot in a foot. It's like your toe bones, your main bone, and then a bunch of ligaments and stuff.
I am absolutely shocked it's not his ankle.
Well, I said foot. They keep saying foot.
Okay.
So that doesn't that mean that the top of his foot broke or something? That sounds painful.
Yeah, I'm fascinated now. I haven't read the injury reports. I just quote unquote assumed the way his leg was bent.
Yes, that his ankle.
I never watched it all the way through.
Everything turned except for his foot and his ankle, and and everything above it moved on that side. But yeah, foot injury is what they're designating it.
Okay.
Now that could just simply mean ligaments. It could be like an MCL sprain in a knee. Every ligament in your foot and everything. 'Cause that's my problem. All the ligaments and everything in my foot are my problems. They get stretched out. They get tight on me. Things like that, which causes other injuries. So that's considered a foot injury, not an ankle injury. So maybe it's that, the way it bent and everything. But I don't know.
Well,
interesting, right?
It seems to me then, because I was concerned about like career.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm less concerned now.
If it's a
was.
foot, yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And they haven't done surgery. Is he going to get another opinion? Yeah, because once that whatever 12-hour period, 5-hour period goes by, then you have to wait almost 3 weeks.
I'll put it this way: I am not a doctor, but I stayed in a Holiday Inn last night. That old thing. I would assume if it was as bad as it looked, and what I mean by that is ankle just destroyed. You have blood flow issues and things like that. That would have been immediate surgery.
Right.
The fact that it isn't that reportedly, and it is the foot, tells me it's tendons, it's ligaments, things like that. Maybe a broken bone on his foot, which is terrible. Don't get me wrong, especially for a running back. It's a horrible injury, but it's not that blood flow could possibly have that issue type of a deal. So that's a good sign, like you said, for a career right, because he's in his 30s now, which isn't that old. But for a running back, that's old.
Yes, it is.
Cross that 30 barrier. So
dog years.
Yeah, I was looking at it. That's the thing. Like once you are done for the season, shouldn't we get like a detailed update with like x-rays and stuff on what's happening with them? Wouldn't that, I guess the NFL doesn't want that out there because it's just going to scare everybody.
Well, there's also a thing called the Privacy Act, isn't there? Like HIPAA?
Well, I mean, yeah, but
yeah, but
don't they have rules around that with everything for a team?
For athletes who
my doctor can't come out and go, "Hey, Steve's ankle hurts. He can't be in today." My doctor can't say that, but I can say it.
Right. No, I understand that, but
my doctor can't go. Steve's on Steve's limited practice today, leading up to the show. Why can they say that on the NFL line? Knee. Why can they say that, but then they can't be like, I know why you don't want to do it if they're going to play or possibly play, but for the season, wouldn't that just be a fascinating thing? Could you imagine, Dale? You're in surgery, you wake up and just all over the internet, which didn't exist back then, but all over the internet's like your X-rays and people talking about what happened to you and everything. Wouldn't that just be fascinating?
Boy, oh boy! It's one thing to have how much you make publicized.
That I agree. I don't think should happen.
But your health, that is fascinating, and so we'll find out here soon enough.
Yeah.
But I do think that that he has not had surgery already.
I don't think he has because if he did, that meant Monday or Sunday.
Sunday night, he would not.
Then you got to travel.
Practice.
He wouldn't have been at practice on a scooter, foot wrapped up and stuff like that.
No.
So that tells me no, not yet, right? Because he wouldn't have been there. He was moving around. This is the quote from Darren Urban. I think this is Darren Urban's article. It is Darren Urban from AZ Cardinals there. His quote was, moving around with the leg and his injured foot propped up on a scooter.
Okay.
So I agree with you. That tells me they're waiting. And the one reason you have the surgery is either the swelling issues and you can't wait 2 weeks, or like I said, a blood flow issue.
Right.
So if it was a terrible ankle injury, I've had that before where I've damaged my ankle and then my foot turned blue, and I'm at the doctor and they're like, you got a blood flow issue there. So they had to like figure out how to get blood flow back to my foot because it was cut off with the pinching and everything happening inside the ankle and stuff like that. So if I didn't catch it right then, I'd be footless right now. And with the pain I've had the last 3 days, Dale, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
But now you're good to go. You got Thursday, Friday
I'm
night,
ready.
back to back.
Let's do this. Ready to go, Dale. Now I got Ethan sick at home, so he's day to day on if he's going to make the games tomorrow and Friday. So now I got decisions to make on, do we get backup people to go? I'm just going to have to eat tickets now. Like, what's the deal with this? Extra stress on me, Dale? He woke up. Yeah, he was perfectly fine Sunday night. Perfectly fine. Woke up yesterday all stuffy. Woke up today, and he is a mess. Pasty white.
So that means you might be on the IR.
I'm so careful on that stuff. Yeah, but get everybody on red alert just in case. Red alert.
Well, it's always interesting because whenever I'm with Graham or Beckett, they'll give you a kiss or you'll be hugging them or whatever, and all of a sudden they'll cough.
Yeah.
Like right in your face.
Yeah.
Like, all right, there's something
And
coming.
especially for Graham because he goes to school now. He's
Yeah.
around all the other petri dishes or
Yes.
whatever. I think I'm safe on this one because his mom had COVID actually like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So it works out timing where he could get sick. Now he doesn't have COVID. He's just got a head cold or whatever. So he was at his mom's that whole time where it was cultivating, and the symptoms now are out. That's what I'm telling myself, Dale.
Could be COVID.
I'm telling myself.
You could be bringing it here. You could be the petri dish.
For that, I apologize if that's the case. I'm not going to get sick from this one. I'm going to get sick from a lot of other stuff. I was literally at an urgent care yesterday. You don't think I walked out of there with some stuff hanging on me?
They're going to be hanging around all these people tomorrow night and Friday night. Or you're coming Monday.
Why do you do this to me?
Jeez.
I'm wearing a mask. I'll be the guy with the mask and extra tickets because nobody can go with me because everybody's sick.
Have 2 seats on either side of you.
Because everybody else is sick right now. It's exciting times around on top of everything else now.
I love it.
Hey, your Mercury last night. Let's give them some love here early in the show before we get into Diamondbacks here. Don't forget, Mike Sheehan joins us 9:00. Got a big game. And I hate to phrase it this way. I don't mean any disrespect, but the easy part of his schedule is done. Scottsdale Christian Academy has some teams that are 4-1, score a lot of points. Blown out some teams coming on their schedule here the next couple of weeks. And the next 2 weeks are on the road. So it'd be fun to talk to him a little bit with the mindset going into these hard games coming up.
It's just always interesting when you're talking about the 2A level in Arizona high school football because there's and actually it's almost on every level from 6A down to 2A. The fact that there's probably 10 teams. They play each other. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Be a competitive game. And then if it's 11 through 30, they play each other, going to be a good competitive game.
Generally.
But if 15 plays 5,
unless you're Desert Ridge.
it could be a blowout.
Yeah.
And
it goes blowout quick.
Yeah.
That's the shocking thing. It's like from kickoff. Like I wasn't at the Desert Ridge Centennial game. But the people that I know did go, they were like, you knew it kickoff this game. You knew.
Right.
Second that kickoff happened, you were like, this is going to be a long night. And it ended up being like 77-6 or something.
And so again, obviously even you watch film, that would happen to me, especially the last 3-4 years when we got good, is, you watch film, you see 2 teams play, and you're like, okay, so this team's competitive, this team's really good, or they got this guy and that guy.
Yeah, we got to watch this guy.
And then you show up, and it's like, oh, the competition wasn't that good.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's hard to say that because these two-way level is like, they're not vying for well, some of them are, but they're not vying for big level scholarships. Nothing to that effect. They're out there because they love the game, and so it does suck that it happens. I mean, I'm not happy Fountain Hills, got beat down last week, but it's a byproduct of it. But at the same time, and I told you guys, I had no desire to go to that game. I don't need to go drive across town for a big blowout and two teams that are mismatched out there. Changes today. So we'll see what Mike Sheehan says when he comes on, because of Chino Valley this weekend at Chino Valley. So that's a couple-hour drive up there. Well, I don't know if I'm up there, maybe an hour and a half. Maybe it's like 2 hours from my house Friday night. Then they come back and they got Cortez after that. Cortez just lost to Chino Valley by 1 point a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And it was like a 65-64 ball game or something like that.
So there's some points being scored.
Yeah, so it's not like a fest out there coming up. So we'll talk to Mike coming up at 9 o'clock as well. Always good to have him on from that perspective. And I'll just throw this out as well. You know, I've had a couple other coaches, a couple other teams come out. No problems. I had one person reach out, athletic director, and was kind of like shy about it at first. No. Because of your relationship with Scottsdale Christian, that's how we got involved with it. We've latched on to them. Great program. I like what the program stands for and things like that. But don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to talk to you guys. It might not be able to be on the show based off of time, practice, etc. Like I know how hard it is for Mike to join us at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. But, we'd love to have you on there. We'd love to have you on and work out a time. We can record something later on, and stuff like that, because I just feel we need to promote some of these Centennial, and those guys get all the love. No problem talking to anybody else and things like that. And one was even like, I know you got a relationship with Scottsdale Christian, and you might not want to talk. That's hogwash. That's hogwash. Knock it off. And then Santana.
Well, Steve, you're pretty intimidating.
I think they're afraid of me.
You're pretty intimidating. I got a welcoming face, body language.
Really? Because one of them was like, I don't want Dale giving secrets to Scottsdale Christian.
That's how they talk.
Exactly what they say. Yeah. I watched your program last year and what he said about us.
Yeah.
One of them was not Valley Christian that reached out.
Like I say, there's only one school that I had some fun with, and they took it very serious.
They were not happy with you on that side. But in all seriousness, Mercury, 89-83 victories over the Lynx, came back in this game, forced overtime in Minnesota, got the win.
Controversy, Steve.
Major controversy, Dale.
Controversy.
What are you doing on Sunday night now?
My goodness. I mean, I thought I would call Kevin Guy, but I thought I'll let it simmer for a little bit. The Jonas Brothers were scheduled to be at PHX Arena.
Yes, Sunday night. They got bumped for the Mercury. Everybody expected the Mercury to be out of the playoffs by then.
Yeah. Well,
when they booked the concert, they didn't even think they'd make the playoffs at that point.
Right.
I'm sure, right? Or they didn't know what the schedule was, and they're like, oh, whatever, we'll do it. But yeah, Jonas Brothers got bumped. Is it official? Are they moving over to Glendale?
I don't know if they're moving to Glendale or moving to Monday. I thought I heard that they have an opening on Monday. But
okay,
I don't know.
I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea.
And I'm not I'm not on the Jonas Brothers website.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you taking that shirt off before the show, like I asked you to.
Yeah.
I was like, Dale, you can't come in with that Jonas Brothers shirt on. But second of all, man, going from Sunday to the Monday. Now, I don't think the Jonas Brothers has a young audience like they once had.
No, they have all the people who listened to them when they were young.
That's what I mean. So now they're what, in their late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah.
I don't know how young they were when they were then. But I wonder. That's a big difference. I mean, you already have tickets, but how many people aren't going to be able to go? Mercury taking the jobs from Mendale.
But I don't know about that. But I do know about this.
Just kidding, people.
The reason I was going to bust Kevin Guy's chops is because the Rattlers have had playoff games moved because there's been things going on.
I know where you're going. I knew where you're going on this. We had to go to a Monday night San Diego game this year in the first round of the playoffs.
I'm talking even a couple years ago when they were at PHX Arena, and it seemed like every year, first round of the playoffs, they have to play on a Friday or a Monday because there were things going on.
Something else there.
Yeah.
But I suspect when you own the arena, basically, right? You're the major tenant of an arena, and you're worth several billion. I think you get a little bit more pull than.
You think Ishbia made a phone call?
Yeah, I think Ishbia was like, we ain't moving that.
Brothers,
yeah,
please.
we ain't moving that. I don't care. We ain't moving it. Can you imagine if the Mercury had to go play in Glendale?
Well,
so there we go.
congratulations there. I did see the highlights of the game. I didn't watch the game, but
Great
what
ending to the game.
Yes.
Absolute amazing ending to the game. I actually turned off the Diamondbacks at one point because they look like garbage to kind of watch that and just keep my eye on the pulse on what's happening there. But 89-83, which means we get a game 4. So they play what was yesterday? I don't even know what date it is. So they play what? Friday, Sunday now, I think.
Yeah.
Coming up here. Look, I have zero hopes they're going to beat the Lynx. The Mercury are a really good WNBA team, but they're not at the level of the Lynx and a couple others. This will be an upset if the Mercury can pull this off. But winning in that fashion in overtime, I can't do nothing but give you confidence coming back home to Phoenix.
This is when, if you're the Mercury, I believe you wish it was a 3-game series.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because all you have to do is win one more.
That's a good point. Because, I mean, the Lynx are so good that, in a longer series, they'll eventually come out and win it from that side.
Yes.
I don't think the Lynx are going to have, dare I say, another quote-unquote letdown at the end of a game. Like they're gonna be straight into it the whole time now. I think they might have learned their lesson the other night. So this will be fun. Friday night, 6:30 p.m. down there at PHX Arena, and Sunday, Jonas Brothers.
So hold on, are you now in a conundrum?
With Jonas Brothers on Sunday?
No, with Friday night.
No.
ASU.
No.
Mercury.
There's no conundrum on this.
How are you gonna make both of them?
You know what? I'll send. Well, Izzy's not here. I was gonna say I'll send our illustrious reporter over to the stadium.
Yeah.
We don't have a Mercury cover person right now.
Yeah, I know. How is Izzy?
I don't know. Doesn't return my calls.
Oh, really?
Live in the go.
Big time.
He was at WrestlePalooza on Sunday. I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, like everybody else that leaves here, they big time us. At least he didn't go on a show and tell everybody what a piece of crap I was, like another person did after he got fired everywhere he works at. So at least Izzy didn't do that.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Neither do I. I'm making that up. So congrats to the Mercury. This is going to be a fun series now, with what they did last night. A lot of fun. But then on the backdrop of that, Mercury do the comeback win in overtime, and then just what the Diamondbacks did last night.
Yeah.
Look, they're not making the playoffs. It's a great effort. September 24th, they're in this playoff race. This is fun as all heck. Nobody thought we'd be in this boat a month ago, let alone, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I didn't think we'd be in this boat back in May. I told you guys this was a 500 team, no effort, lots of errors on the field. And they made errors last night. But thank God, and this is my issue here when people talk about the Diamondbacks bullpen and how bad it is. A lot of teams have bad bullpens. The difference is, generally, you can outscore it and overcome your bad bullpens. Diamondbacks cannot. And Dodgers last night could not do it. Their bullpen is an epic meltdown right now. They're paying a guy $10 million a year to close for them. He cannot do it.
And you sit there, and I heard everybody talking about it yesterday. Hey, Ohtani's going to be Ohtani.
And he was.
And see if you can chase him and then get to that bullpen. And very rarely when you talk about football or basketball or a baseball game and what you think's going to happen or what should happen, does it actually play out like that?
Well, I mean, there's a couple things. And Bruce Cooper was prophetic yesterday talking about this, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But, I mean, 8th inning, Moreno. Why are you sending your catcher in that position and he gets thrown out at second? You're down one, runner in scoring position, and you get thrown out at second, running to second at that point. So there's a lot of issues, there and things like that. But you can't tell me, and what Bruce Cooper brought up yesterday, last time Torey Lovullo was in this situation, Diamondbacks are down 4-1 yesterday. But remember last time? He pinch hit for McCann when – you just needed somebody to put a bat on a ball, get the ball into play, and a run would have scored and tied it up. And he pinch hit for him and put ADC in there. And I love me some Del Castillo. I love him to death, but there are some situations as a young hitter he should not be in, right, and be put into when you have a veteran like McCann out there. Give Torey. So you can't tell me that mistake, and you got to give Torey credit on that mistake, Torey did not remake it yesterday with McCann in that position in the 9th inning. But even before that, he goes out there. And, Del Castillo's coming up to the plate, right? And he pinch hit. What happens, Dale? Down 4-1. Lawler, he's already pinch hit. McCarthy was pinch hit. Lawler pinch hit for McCarthy. Del Castillo comes in as well and pinch hits there for Lawler in the 7th inning. And look what happens. 4-1 ball game. Del Castillo steps up to the plate. Let's check this out. That's kind of the rally up here, Dale. The ADC home run here. Yeah, don't do the other.
Dell cranks it. Way back. Goodbye.
Makes it a 4-3 ball game in the 7th. You have momentum on your side now.
Yeah.
So this time pinch hitting Del Castillo works out, right? But the play that Bruce kind of talked about was the McCann situation. If you didn't see this game last night, I'm sure you've heard of it now, so we don't really have to go like play by play. But you go back here. They're 9th inning. Before I show you the pertinent plays of the 9th inning, Dale. McCann's at the plate. Asks him to bunt. 0-2 count at this point. I'll just preview the Torrey Afterwards clip we're going to play. He takes the strike off. He takes the bunt off. McCann, a veteran, goes, that's all right. I got you. So here are the pertinent plays of the 9th inning when they score 5 unanswered runs against the Dodgers and win this game last night. It's about a minute-long video. Here we go, 9th inning.
Back butts. 0-2 on McCann. He squares again with 2 strikes.
Look at where that ball is, Dale.
Muncie's got it. And James McCann with a 2-strike bunt gets the job done. And now the winning runs are in scoring position. The number... Barossa hits a fly ball to left.
Another young guy, Barossa.
Here comes Vargas. Jorge Barossa ties it up.
Look at the faces on these kids, too.
Yeah. Not even shaving something.
They're locked in, man. This moment's not too big for them. Then the
Base
stun.
hit. Hurry. Here comes Toa. Alex Cole with a throw. He has safe.
I love that play. Celebrate, boys.
Nice crowd.
Yeah, biggest crowd on a Tuesday night in a while. Yeah. Okay, so now it's just celebration. So look at that. A veteran pitcher, a veteran hitter's up there, knows what he can do, what he can't. Did you see that pitch that McCann bunted?
Yeah, that was a hard one to get to.
And he gets it down and gets it out there. He has faith in his thing to get out there. You have the confidence now, the momentum changed in the 7th. Then you got the confidence with that bunt going down and move the batters over. Then you got the young kid going up there. Just make contact, get it in the outfield. It's all you got to do. Get a run home to tie it. Comes through with it. Then you get I'm sorry, Perdomo's the best player on this team. There's no doubt about it. The talk of Marte being the best guy on this team and the leader just needs to end. It's Perdomo. It's got to be.
Well, you could say that Marte's maybe the most talented, but Perdomo is kind of like the heart and soul of this team.
Yeah, it just he just consistently goes up there pushing 100 RBIs this year. I think he's at 97, if I remember correctly. Jeff Passan, excuse me. I was calling Passan as a joke. Jeff Passan, ESPN, put this out yesterday talking about
98 for Perdomo.
Is it 98 now? So perfect. So hasn't been updated yet. But he goes out there and he's talking about, he focuses on the national of baseball, right? Because he works for ESPN. He's got to put this thing out yesterday about, the big dumper up in Seattle, right? Aaron Judge, Ohtani, he talks about them like in reverence about they're the best players in baseball. And, this year they're the best players in baseball and stuff like that. Schwarber, Soto, stuff like he talks about that caliber of players. He has been putting out tweet and even on his appearances has been doing nothing but talking about Perdomo in his appearances. Perdomo's caught the eyes of these national guys and things last night as well. He puts it out here. Here's Perdomo's stats, and this is all from Jeff Passan. I did not look this up. Okay, his batting average is 289, 13th. By the way, this is 144 qualified hitters are in this ranking.
By the way, it's up to 291 now.
Is it okay? So this was he put this out last night.
Must have been before the game.
The stats are probably before the game because his tweet at the top says he just walked off the Dodgers. So the stats must be before the game. Yes. The tweet came afterwards. So I'm going to give you what he put out there. Dale, you have it up. Correct me if it's wrong. 291. Well, before that, it was 289, 13th in Major League Baseball in batting average. On base percentage, which is improved now as well, 391. He was 5th out of 144 qualified batters, 5th. His slugging percentage at the time of this was 462, 47th ranking there. I mean, come on, slacker. In the 47th percentile? Come on. Runs 96 in this moment of this tweet, 13th. RBI's 97. We know that's better now, but it's 14th at that point. Strikeout rate 10.9%. That's 8th in Major League Baseball. Walk rate 13.4%. 14th in Major League Baseball. 26 stolen bases, 19th in Major League Baseball. Games played. 155, 8th in Major League Baseball. This guy's a stud. This guy should be the leader of the team. And unless Ketel Marte gets in line with the toughness of this team, this is a no-brainer move in my eyes. Gives me more point than unless Ketel Marte falls in line with the rest of the team, which hopefully he does. This is a no-brainer. The talk of we can't trade Ketel because he's our best player ends. It ends. It's over. Perdomo, you knew it if you've been watching Diamondbacks games, and we just gave you the stats to show you. He's the best player on this team right now.
What a fun last week. You didn't update the standings, but
we have it. Throw it up, Kobe, if you would. No, the Cubs let us down yesterday. Had a 5. The Cubs had a 5-0 lead on the Mets and lose that game. Reds are in trouble. They have a hard schedule too. I mean, they got the Pirates, but they got Skeens today. Skeens doesn't give up runs, so Reds could take another step back. Right? But Diamondbacks 1 game out with the Mets right now because the Cubs suck. God, the Cubs just always let you down, don't they, Cubs fans? Wow. Except for 1 year.
One year, and that actually kind of ruined the story of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, I think that was the worst thing to happen to the Cubs.
They have not been the same since.
Just as a team or their fan base. Their fan base changed after that. They went from we just love going to games and drinking to, angry people. Angry people. So, yeah, 1 game back going into tonight as well. Thanks, Cubs, for screwing it up. I mean, if the Cubs didn't blow that game last night, Diamondbacks would be in that top spot right there in the wild card going into tonight.
Blake Snell on the bump.
That's the problem. Ryan Nelson, who will do well tonight. Problem is, then you got Yamamoto tomorrow for the Dodgers. Not getting easier. Dodgers, this is the problem. And they're the Diamondbacks, now they have to win, so I'm not saying don't win for this reason. But this is the problem the Diamondbacks have. If they beat the Dodgers, let's say 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, whatever, they're letting the Padres in. And the Padres aren't going to take it easy in the next 3 games because they can win the division. They're 1.5 out in the division, the Padres are right now. They're within striking distance. So if the Diamondbacks go out and win today or win 2 out of 3 here in the next 2, well, all they're doing is setting it up to where they're going to face the Padres guys because, yeah, the Padres are in the playoffs. You want to win that division. Your playoffs get easier if you win the division.
I was thinking maybe this afternoon you should go take your son over to the Dodgers team hotel and just let him walk around, cough on everybody, see if you can't get him sick by tomorrow.
You don't have to do that. Just cough in your hands and just touch stuff. I know where they stay. We could probably do that. Yeah. I'll walk around with just a Ziploc bag and just open it up every few feet. Next to vents. We're probably going to get in trouble for even suggesting that, Dale. You want to move sickness around? What's wrong with you? Great comeback last night. And look, let's face it. I mean, like I said, they're not making the playoffs. And why do I keep saying that? The Reds are actually the bigger problem than the Mets. But the Mets are still a problem, right? Because the Mets schedule coming up. Cubs are not playing for anything. They just don't care right now. And then the Marlins after that. But Jack Summers has been putting out Diamondbacks on SI and the team there. He's taken a step back, he announced, after this season. But he does fantastic work. One of the works he does is he puts out a chart on if the Diamondbacks do this, what do the Dodgers and the Mets and the Reds have to do to get in. And this is what sucks, because just looking at it, you're one back, and you can convince yourself Diamondbacks got a chance until you see facts. Throw up that chart here for us, Scobie, as we're talking about that. So basically on the right side is the Diamondbacks. So if the Diamondbacks go 5-0, which I think we all can agree that's going to be very difficult for them to do, but then the Mets have to go 4-1 for the Diamondbacks to beat them in the standings. That's hard enough. That's Diamondbacks more realistically, 4-1 probably is what they could go. Well, then the Mets have to go 3-2. That actually is really realistic. Mets can go 3 or 2 or worse the way they're playing and the way that they do play out there. So, but the Mets aren't the biggest threat here. It's the Reds. Now the Reds have, Pirates. Skeens on the mound today. Tough matchup for them today. If the Diamondbacks go 5-0 against to finish out the season, and the Reds go 4-1, the Reds are going to win that. That's how the odds are. Let's just say realistically, because let's say the Reds lose today, right? So that'd be 2 losses. That'd be 1 loss here with 5 to go, I should say. They got another couple tough matchups coming up. So let's just say they go 2-3. Diamondbacks have to go 3-2 against the Dodgers and the Padres, who are still competing for a division championship. It just sets the reality here of the position the Diamondbacks in, and a lot of that is due to tiebreakers, unfortunately.
Yes, because they had the tiebreaker over the Mets, but not the Reds.
Reds hold the tiebreakers against both the Mets and the Diamondbacks. So if there was a 3-way tie, Reds would get in based off of that. And that's stuff. I don't know, Dale. I said it yesterday, and I was kind of joking around where I was like, God, I hope Diamondbacks are out of it by like 2 or 3, so we don't have to do the whole tiebreaker. And if you would have done this, but this is fun. Keep it going. Yes. 5 more games.
Well, especially the way the game ended last night, and you think they're out of it, and you got a pitcher on Ohtani who's just
I switched to the Mercury game at one point because I was like, Diamondbacks aren't just playing well. I went back to it, but I was like, I don't need to watch this. I don't need to watch them flounder. Because there's going to come a day coming up where we're all going to go, that's it. They can lose 1 in this 5-game stretch, but you saw what it can do to you if you lose 1.
But the other thing is, how many times have we said that this year? They're done. That loss.
I know, but you've got to give credit to the Mets. Mets should be secured. If they didn't lose the games, weren't losing 8 out of 9 and stuff like that after the trade deadline, we wouldn't even be in this position. We're in this position not just because of the way you played. Diamondbacks could have played this way, and they would still be out of it if the Mets just won 50% of the games they lost, and they lost a lot of them since the All-Star break. So we got to give the Mets credit for that. Let's not give the Mets credit for sucking so bad that we're dealing with that, right? So what we're dealing with. So Reds, Pirates, Skeens on the mound gives you hope today that the Reds can get that. Mets at Cubs, I got no hope the Cubs are going to do anything. They're just Cubs. Always the Cubs.
Never know, Steve. Never know.
Well, I can tell you this. If the Cubs are up by 10 runs going into the 9th, you're going to be holding your breath because the Mets can come back from that. We saw that yesterday as well. Right? After the game yesterday, Torey Lovullo spoke about that bunt situation. Bruce Cooper brought that bunt situation up before where he did it.
Bunt.
And yesterday, and I was just sitting there going, amazing brought up by Bruce yesterday, callback, and then it comes into play tonight. Even Torey talked about it a little bit. Here's Torey after the game.
Let's see, about 2 weeks ago, I pinch bunted for him, and he'd been talking smack for the past 2 weeks about what a good bunter he is. I said, okay, big boy, go get it. See what you got. But once he tells you that, you trust him. Like, once again, it's a guy that you can draw from a lot of he can draw from a lot of experience. So when he said, go back and look at, and I did, and I saw what it looked like, I knew that his technique was good, and I knew that he was confident in bunting the baseball. So to tell you the truth, I took it off with 2 strikes. I don't like to put pressure on a bunter in that situation. Talk about minimal margins, but he said to me in the dugout, I've been talking so much smack about bunting, I had to get it down. I had 3 chances.
I mean, that's just the fun part of baseball.
That is the fun part of baseball, because the first thing that I'm kind of going about is, hold on, you didn't know he could bunt. You don't work on bunting in batting practice?
My favorite part, I didn't cut this, but McCann was talked to at his locker yesterday, and he goes, "Man, I went to college. You don't survive college unless you learn how to bunt." I'll say this: a young kid probably isn't. I shouldn't not give him credit. A young kid wouldn't have bunted that pitch. That pitch was in, like at his backside, and he was able to get the bat around there and put it in play. If you're bunting it, it's going foul. Things like that, But that's also me just going Torey, knowing that,
I'm surprised that the post-game news conference wasn't there to announce the extension that Torey's going to sign.
I like it. I like how everybody now. I know, like 98.7 Gambo and Ash. Gambo and Ash. Jeez, there's a throwback.
Wow.
I reached out to my buddy Asher the other day.
Oh, okay.
So it's on my top of my head. But Gambo and Burns, like they've started saying in the last couple of weeks what I told you guys a month ago. Torey Lovullo's coming back, because of the way they're playing right now. The other situation, they've kind of echoed that. I saw some other media people over the last couple of days. Their big takes are Torey's staying. Yeah, we've been telling you that. We've been telling you. It's not a secret. They're playing well. They like him there. They like what he does. It's just you can't give him a veteran team with expectations because Torey will let you down.
Well, especially if you're in a playoff hunt, and if you have a chance with the way the team did you at the trade deadline, unless you're the coach of the New York Liberty, usually if you make the playoffs.
What's up with the WNBA? They won a championship last year with her, Dale.
And they got upset this year.
They won a championship last year, get knocked down in the first round of the playoffs to a really good team, the Mercury, and they fire the coach. And then they go, "We're looking for a coach with NBA experience."
Okay.
What? So the second they fire, I read 4 teams reached out to interview her, like on the spot. It was like it wasn't even like cold yet. It was like still warm. It's literally. I felt like the Mercury were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to let you go." Or sorry, the Liberty were like, "We're gonna have to let you go." And like her agent's phone was ringing. Bring her in here. We want to talk to her. It is an amazing thing, but it's not only that, but it's also next year with the injuries and stuff. But it's just easy to look at this with the way they've played. Like I said, the decision the Diamondbacks have is the disappointment on how they played with the fully bigger roster earlier in the season, and that's the thing. I'm bringing him back is just looking at it and saying, okay, we bring him back. We're gonna have a young team next year. The veteran guys aren't going to be back next year. Let's bring him back. We expect a good year. My opinion is you're just settling for this type of baseball if you bring him back for long term. 1-year extension next year. See what happens next year, and we can move on from that. But we're going to see the same stuff, Dale. Same stuff.
In the
Been
playoff
10 years
hunt.
of it.
Yeah.
In 10 years of it. Yeah, but that's my point. I mean, the Rangers are in the same boat. They missed the playoffs this year. They're officially eliminated. They went to the World Series 2 years ago. Missed the playoffs 2 years after that. Diamondbacks are in the same boat. Are you okay with that? That's the question it comes down to. Are you okay with not making the playoffs very often? One time you do, you get to the World Series, and then you miss the playoffs a couple years after that. Are you okay with that as a team? That's a legit question. And we're going to find out if the executives, not for next year because Torey's coming back probably, but this is the decision they have to make as ownership, Derek Hall, and those guys. Are we okay? The old Nebraska thing. Are we okay with being in the playoff hunt every year but not getting over the top?
So listen to this. I just pulled this article, ESPN. They gave each team a letter grade. David Schoenfeld, whoever this goofball is.
He's a good reporter. I like him.
He's
got some takes that are weird.
What letter grade do you think he gave the Diamondback?
What is this?
On the season.
On the season?
On their season.
Okay. If I was to grade the Diamondbacks, I'd move them into a low, like a B minus C plus right now. But for the season, they're a low C at the high end, maybe a D.
Ooh. I would not want to be in your class. He ranked them a C, but listen to a couple of these stats.
But that's about right for the season.
His favorite oddball statistic of the season. The Diamondbacks have 17, I didn't realize this, 17 different pitchers with a save.
Yes.
That breaks the previous record of 14.
I was say, but it's like 3 or 4, yeah. How many guys have they had play first base? Does he have that stat?
One trying to make somehow still alive in the race. Even after trading away Merrill Kelly, Suarez, Naylor, and Shelby Merrill. By the way, did you see that Naylor had a game-winning
clinched the playoffs for the Mariners, and folks, Mariners are going to win that division probably today.
Let's see here, and then he just goes kudos to Perdomo for an absolutely stunning season that has him closing in on 7 WAR.
Yep, that's an unheard of.
With only
unheard of WAR.
Paul Goldschmidt at 8.3 WAR in 2015 and Luis in 2001 had that.
It's an ungodly number. Wins upon replacement.
Above
replacement, yeah. So absolutely ungodly number on that stuff. Yeah, it's just you can't ignore what we see with Torey Lovullo throughout the season. You know, we can get wrapped up if you sit back and do the macro side, and that's what the management's going to tell us. You know, and by reading into them bringing him back for next year isn't necessarily what they tell us. But he's got a chance next year to come out and not have that disappointment and make the run. This team, showing you right now, this young team, the way it's constructed right now, is showing you can make a playoff run next year without Corbin, Puck, Martinez, Gurriel. You can be competitive for a wild card spot. That's what they're showing you. You're not going to come into next year and go, Diamondbacks are going to be last in the division. They're going to be worse than the Rock. You're not thinking that. You're going to think they're going to be better than the Giants, and you have that push coming up. Is what you're going to have coming in next year. Again, expectations though, and Torey Lovullo's teams are a little bit different out there. So let's just wrap up baseball. I mean, today, baseball fans, right? Diamondbacks, obviously, you got Ryan Nelson, against Blake Snell. It's going to be a fantastic matchup here tonight as well. Mariners can clinch their AL West title since 2001 today as well for them. They just have a playoff berth at this point for them. They got the Rockies tonight. Tigers and Guardians are officially tied atop the AL Central. 5 games left in the season. This is unbelievable. I'm going to predict Tigers are not going to make the playoffs. They had a 15.5 game lead a month ago. If they do not make the playoffs and they lose this, it's the worst. It's I don't know how to phrase it. But yeah, worst collapse. The last one I think was 14.5 or 15. So 15.5 games lead going into the division.
Wow.
Here's the problem. Cleveland, right? They just swept them last weekend, and they're won last night as well. Tigers, I don't know how you recover from a meltdown like this in the season.
Yeah.
So this is a fascinating series. That's up here. They're tied, 5 games left as well. Then, of course, Hunter Green, Paul Skeens, you want to pay attention to as well. So there's baseball everywhere out there. And all of those games, Seattle Rockies are probably not going to pay attention to unless you're a Seattle fan. Out there, that's a 9:40 p.m. Eastern, so 6:40 p.m. our time here tonight for that game. Yankees, of course, clinched last night, walk-off fashion, celebrated with the bubbly in the locker room. Dale, you've done that before, right?
I've never understood why football doesn't celebrate with champagne.
But they celebrate, right?
No,
they don't at all.
You hoop and holler and hug and kiss, but
I could have sworn they jump around.
Yeah.
But I thought they had like beer or whatever.
No.
Am I missing something?
Yeah.
I don't understand why baseball players do it.
Oh, you should celebrate
they
it.
all wear the goggles and everything.
Yeah, you should celebrate it. Don't
well,
you
that's
think?
the problem. But when half your team is under 21, what are you doing? Non-alcoholic?
Wow.
I don't think football does it because it's kind of like hockey. Every step is just a step to get to that major prize at the end. Like, you're not celebrating a division title like that because that's not your end goal, right?
But what about a Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, they celebrate Super Bowls, don't they? Am I drunk? Am I drunk right now? I thought they celebrated the Super Bowls. So did I. Kobe even said he thought they did.
We've never.
You did? What did you guys do after the Super Bowl? You guys just go in the locker room and go,
yeah, hoop and holler.
Hey, good playing with you guys this year. Half of you will be gone next year.
Well, there's a Super Bowl party that's away from the TV
That's different.
cameras.
That's different when you get to that.
That's
I know. But in
after
the locker room, no, huh?
No alcohol. Yeah, because, hey, we understand there's little eyes on us, and we don't want to be promoting alcohol abuse.
The players had to hurry up and get to the White House. afterwards.
White House didn't travel.
No, you have a makeshift one.
Oh.
That's how I think that's how BRB started. BRB started.
I don't think there's any VRBOs back in the 90s.
No, that's how it started. You guys had to rent houses out and stuff, and then you rented it from a guy, and he's like, you know what, I can make a business out of this. So lots of baseball, playoff baseball on schedule today. That of course affects everything out there, and we'll just see what happens. This is fun.
We're
fun.
still paying attention. That's what we asked back in June.
Well, and it's not only that, but we're paying attention, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, it would be one thing if like they come out, they get swept by the Dodgers, swept by the Padres, and we're all like, whatever. Keep this interesting, man. Even if you're out of the playoffs, but you're 2 or 3 on the Dodgers, you could spoil the Dodgers or the Padres winning this division. Do that.
You're still have a mathematical opportunity with 5 games left.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. That's fantastic. But also, even if you do get eliminated, you can ruin the Dodgers or the Padres division championship. That's something to watch.
Yeah. Then I move on to the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, no. Are you ready for that? When's that kick off?
Friday.
I say it's Friday. Yeah, that's why we're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
A little bit leading up to it and everything. U.S. players are paid this year. Nothing says I want to play for my country like you better pay me. And the Europeans are not paid. Freaking Americans, man. I want to play for my country. It's everything I've ever wanted. Oh, you better pay me first, though.
They're all donated to charity.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now I take it back.
There was, again, another reason why I just can't stand. Oh, now I can't even remember his name.
Now I got to see which charities they are before I make my judgment if this is good or not.
Gosh, who's
Phil?
The stoic one, the guy that I'd rather watch paint
Oh,
dry.
Cantlay?
Patrick Cantlay. He was the one who's pushing to be paid. He's the one who wouldn't wear the USA hat.
He didn't want to wear the uniform and everything.
You know, that's like, come on, man.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't wear the merch and match in with the rest of his players and stuff like that.
His teammates.
We'll just roll through here this hour with no commercial break. Brought to you by pick up somebody. Daybreak Services. The Real Matrix.
Brought to you by Steve
McCollum.
Yeah.
Dale Hellestrae. ABS is coming to Major League Baseball officially for 2026. Can't wait. I'm sitting there watching the Blue Jays game yesterday, and there's playoff implications on that game. And George Springer hits a beautiful ball down the line. Umpire calls it foul. Probably crossed the plate, across the third base bag. Umpire called it foul. Springer kind of reacts negatively about it because it was a foul. It was a fair ball, and the umpire called it foul. All of that stuff. Then he goes up to the plate, and the umpire calls a strike on an up-and-out pitch. Just horrible in that position. Blue Jays are fighting for the playoff spot. They're still trying to win that division. And the umpire, who's mad because Springer reacted negatively because the jackass out the third baseline can't tell if a ball's fair or foul or not, and he reacts to it, and then they have to pay back him that. Thank God we have a system to come in now that in those big situations, these childish crybaby umpires can get shown up finally, and they can't do anything about it. Yeah, they'll take it out on the players because they're sensitive little crybabies, but finally, somebody to correct these manhandling, stupid, I'm going to show you who's boss attitudes of the umpires in Major League Baseball. I'm so excited for this next year. And it's not going to come into play early in the games, by the way. They're not going to challenge early pitchers. They're going to keep them for end of the game situations coming into, because you get 2, and if you lose them, you have to keep winning to keep them. And if you lose 2, then you don't have any more the rest of the game. They're not going to care about bad balls and strikes in the second inning, third inning. They're going to care about them in the situations yesterday with the Blue Jays. And I'm so excited. These crybaby, don't show me up attitude refs finally get some comeuppance. It's going to be fantastic.
Are you sure this ABS system's not going to be made with feelings, too?
Well, the best part about it, here's the best part about it, is umpires are going to get upset that they get shown up. And I'm here for it. sometimes people in power with no repercussions, it's just good to see him get slapped down every once in a while. Drunk with power. This was an egregious strike yesterday on Springer. It was a joke of a call, and it was all because he dared react negatively because a fair ball was called foul, because the umpire was stupid in that moment. You should be able to challenge those plays, too. It wouldn't have mattered because it would have been a double. They would have scored a run. They would have ended up losing, by the way. That's the other side of it. But the point is, umpires are going to be checked. Umpires are going to be checked in 20. Imagine that last night. He rings Springer up. Big moment. Ah! On a pitch outside and up. And then Springer just stands there calmly and goes, and the umpire's got to turn around and get on his microphone and get told what a stupid jackass he is. And that umpire's got to turn that mic on, swallow his pride, and go, upon review, that ball was a ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And he's got to turn around and take another pitch. And I dare an umpire to screw it up the next time, too. Because you know what will happen? And then the umpire's going to have to turn his sorry little, sheepish little grin, S-eating grin around and stare at the crowd and get on the microphone and go, upon review, that was a ball. Runner takes first base. And at some point, an umpire's going to realize what a stupid moron he looks like. And he's going to start calling this properly instead of just having egos. And it's going to be a beautiful thing.
You are unbelievable.
A beautiful thing next year in 2026. I can't wait for it. Beautiful. A guy without an ego coming up next, Mike Sheehan.
Oh.
It's the main event here. We're not supposed to laugh at that, Dale. Mike Sheehan comes up next, folks. Come and join us. And we're back here. Main event, second hour coming up. And on Wednesdays, we have the privilege of having 2A back-to-back state champion head coach Mike Sheehan from Scottsdale Christian Academy joining us. Let's throw it up. Let's go. Fresh off his 63-3 victory over Fountain Hills Falcons.
Fresh.
He's wearing his backwards hats now.
I think that's a Victory Bears cap for the Bears.
It's that same one, but I could be wearing a Bears one.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams leading the league in touchdowns. Roma Donze leading the league in touchdowns. Everybody's yelling on here today, so should I start yelling about something right now?
Yeah,
It's
what's on
happy-
your grievance?
It's happy yelling.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're getting our grievances out.
Good morning.
Yeah, what do you have to yell about?
Oh, nothing.
I mean,
Just
tell me
chilling out
about the AIA refs. Get mad about them. Do they need a review system? What's going on?
here. No comment. No comment. I'll tell you what. Actually, why you say that, I think they've been better over the last couple of years. There was a while there it was getting pretty bad. Honestly, I think for 3 or 4 years, but I think the last couple of years have been better.
I
my opinion.
would agree with you this year. I've been going to a lot of different games because of my kids and stuff like that. And there's only a call where I was like, dude, get your ego out of there. And that was a sideline warning against Desert Ridge when they were coming back in a game. But other than that, I think this year I've been kind of happy with it.
Well, and just to go along with Mike, the rest tend to be better when you're better.
You get the better refs, right?
That's true. I don't know if we haven't had very many penalties. So let's say that. Even my wife said that last night. Holly's like, man, you guys haven't had many penalties.
You're not going to jinx it. You're not going to jinx it.
Okay. I'm making that note right now. When I'm watching the film next week on Saturday or Sunday, Coach, I'm going to be making that note on the penalties now.
I know.
So, look, at Fountain Hills, we knew going in they've struggled this season. Have some good players over there and everything, but you guys came out, obviously 66-3. I did notice in this one, Sean, your quarterback, 9 of 11 for him, 265 yards. So a lot of, not necessarily long throws, but, I know he had a 66-yarder, but a lot of yards after catch, I'm going to assume, on these passes.
Yeah, I think we wanted to kind of start to work a little bit. Like I said, Fountain Hill's a good team. They're kind of rebuilding a little bit. They were in 3A down to 2A and kind of building up their program a little bit. I really like their coaches over there. But what we wanted to do this week is we've been working on our run game for a couple weeks with Everett, and now we want to kind of get back to throwing the ball around a little bit, working on some more play action passes, couple boots, just kind of getting Sean in some rhythm. And it was good, boys. We only had, I think, was he 9 of 11 or 9 of 10?
According to Max, I know we both know the guy that does it.
According to my dad, yeah. So
it says 9 of 11. Yeah.
It's okay. He probably couldn't tell between 10 and 11. That screen's small for him. He's got to put his little binoculars on. But, he listens. But I think we only have one drop, but I think he's spinning the ball pretty well. What we're trying to do is kind of work the ball to the middle, make sure we can throw the ball in the middle late in the season and do those things. And I think Sean did a good job. He was pretty confident this week, and offensive line did a good job too.
We got to clarify this. Your dad does the stats there for your program, so that's what we were referring to. And a great
now
gentleman.
Everybody's gonna be like, no wonder they have big stats and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, he misses more than he gets. Love you, Dad, but you miss more than you get.
I don't know how he does it, man. Because I'll be like, how many yards was that run? And then he'll look over at me and be like 11. And I'm like, how do you know that?
Dude, he's in tune, man. Like, he's in tune in the game. And where most stats guys, they're usually off to the side. Dude's literally right next to me the whole time, I feel like. I don't know if he wants to be a part of it or he's just that into the stats. But I think I go with the ball, so he goes with the ball.
Yeah, right. So go ahead, Dale.
Well, you talked about working on the passing game. One of my favorite players coming through SC, Everett Salazar, been banged up and all that. How's his season going?
Dude, awesome. I think he's got 400, don't quote me, but I think it's 427 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's like 4th in the state, 70th in the nation in rushing touchdowns. He's been awesome. And that kid plays defense for us, offense for us. As I said before the season, he's been an awesome leader. He's just been that kid, man. He had his knee surgery. And I think I fear it every time he goes down, but he has zero fear. So I think that's why he's having a good season. Every time he gets tackled, I'm like, oh, it's done. It's done. And it's not. And I love it. And he keeps going. And I guess that knee's better than the other knee. So let's just hope they both hold up. He's a great kid, man.
So who are you choosing in a big game, him or Pipsqueak?
How would you do that?
How would you do that? Mike,
you'll have to answer that.
Mike, I'll help you on that one. You always pick the current.
I'm gonna
kid.
take both. I'm gonna take both. Both those kids are some.
Could you imagine having both them in the backfield?
We were supposed to. Could you imagine that last year? We would have had both those dudes running the rock. I mean, Caleb did an awesome job, but if we would have had both those guys, Caleb wouldn't have had to do as much as he did and would have played a little bit more defense. But I think both those kids are pretty generational talent is kind of thrown around a little bit, but they're like different kind of kids.
Right.
They're different kind of kids. They're freaking awesome.
Talk about Dom Dickerson, another good game for him out there, according to the stat line, 8 rushes, 75 yards. I mean, he runs, he's a junior, so you get him back for another season next year, but he runs, kind of straight up and down a little bit is what I've noticed at times. Is that a concern for you at all as the season goes on?
No, I mean, he's just kind of like you said, he hasn't played since junior high, right? So it's just kind of still getting the flow back. He's getting better each game, but his speed is it's different at this level. Like his speed is he's a sprinter, right? So he's not going to have that forward lean as much. We got to worry about him at contact, but man, he can fly a little bit. Like we said, I think he's a true 4.5 kid and could get down to a 4.4 if he was really working at it.
Yeah, I'm not knocking. I just noticed that, and just running backs that run like that can get the ball stripped, and things like that. So I was just
Eric Dickerson ran like that.
Side. Tom
Dickerson.
Dickerson.
A little bit
next up.
But I just think if he finishes runs, the more he gets hit, the better for him. Obviously, we don't get him to get hurt, but the more Dom gets hit, the more he gets kind of back in the flow. And like you said, these guys have only played we played 5 games, so they've really only played,
You're taking them out in the third quarter, right?
Yeah, they've been out pretty quick a lot of the time.
Yeah, I just want to go on record, Dom, who may be watching this, or maybe we need to play it for him. You were just compared to Eric Dickerson by somebody who played with Eric Dickerson.
I think I think he probably has a little ways to go before he's in Eric's class.
I'm just saying, we're playing this.
The muscles, the speed's there, but the muscles aren't there yet.
6'3", 220, yeah. I'm not sure if he's there yet.
Maybe height, weight, all this stuff. Yes.
Wow, that kind of shocked me. You would say that.
But he used to run upright. You used to go.
Yeah,
he might get wiped out, but he never really did get wiped out. So let's look forward before we start going in different directions. Chino Valley this week. You got to get on the bus. I'm sure you're taking a nice jetliner bus up to Chino Valley to talk about the football
I hate
team.
it, but we are. Yes, we have a charter bus to go up there.
Really?
That's
Not the school ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Air
also
Force Two's picking us up.
yeah, Air
bringing us
Force.
up there,
I also heard you
so-
got some steak dinners to be served on there on the way up.
Yeah, that's what everybody would think, right? No, yeah, we were taking a charter up there to Chino Valley. They're 4-1 right now. They're a pretty good football team. I think I'm excited for the last 5 games going to the playoffs because it gets like 4-1, 4-1, 5-0, and 4-1. It's the back half is a little bit more loaded, and we're excited to go get Chino. I think they're excited to play us. We're excited to go play them, and should be a good one. It's like 65 degrees. I get to wear pants and a jacket. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that is
Good.
great. Now,
Kids are all going to be in warmers.
It looks
know.
like, at least from what Steve said, that they put some points up on the board.
They have. They can score a little bit. They got a pretty they're actually pretty big, right? So they're big kids. They've got this is one of those years where they got some good kids coming through because the rurals kind of go up and down a little bit. They've got some good kids coming through. They got a really good running back too, and I think I know. I hope he doesn't, but I know he's probably going to hit us for a couple of big runs. He's one of those kids. He's a strong kid, fast kid, get after it. One thing to go back to, this is besides the point, was I said it was gonna be 65 degrees. My dad texted me last night and said he has ponchos. If you guys ever see me wearing a poncho while I'm coaching, just fire me. I am not that old, and if I do that, that is like the least tough thing I've ever seen. So Dad, don't bring me a poncho. I don't want it.
Yeah, I heard
So
today,
there
at
you
least
go.
down here in Phoenix, it's like a 50% chance of rain Friday afternoon, Friday night. Because I was paying attention to that because I got the ASU TCU game on Friday night, and I'm like, oh man. So up there, you might have a better chance.
TCU. Cade's in town, Dale.
Yeah.
Cade's in town.
Be fun to
Yep.
watch him. I got one quick story to tell you. So the poncho
Okay.
thing. Even when we're going somewhere when I was with the Cowboys, I might have told Mike this story. But as I got older, when I was 38, 39, 40, still playing, somewhere in the late third, early fourth quarter, I always had to use the restroom. And so we'd be playing somewhere and it's 50 degrees and they'd bring 3 ponchos on the trip. And that was because we'd make eye contact. I'd go sit on the bench because you can't run to the locker room in the middle of the game.
Now they got
Saying it without
bathrooms.
saying it, right?
Yeah.
So was there drains underneath
The,
that?
the,
No, I
the,
hope there
the
was drains underneath
Gatorade
it.
cups, Mike, and so but stage fright was
Lemon
not a
lime.
thing for me. I could pee in front of 70,000 people.
You got to go in with some lemon lime and come out with no more lemon lime.
That's where
know
you
what I
see
mean? That's how
there's times where you see the trainers holding towels up.
Yeah.
Now they got the medical
Yeah, right?
tent.
It's gotta
So
be. It's
Oh,
gotta
the
be.
blue
You're
tent.
right. You never see anybody go. What's
Yeah.
that?
The blue tent. Yeah, that's a perfect
Well,
place.
Yes.
I've read stories, and this is what makes me wonder. I've heard stories in the pro level. Linemen are just taped up beyond belief or whatever, and they're just like whatever.
Yeah.
So I think they run out there and it just looks like sweat, and I'm just like, a defensive guy's gonna tackle
You're
you
not
out there,
wrong.
man.
You're probably not wrong, right? If
No.
you're sweating enough, might as well just go.
He
right?
knows
I
the
guess.
truth. He knows what's up.
Yeah, but it's
He's
got
not
to be the
saying-
right
I'm sure half
temperature because if it ain't warm enough, you ain't sweating enough.
Oh yeah, that's true. If it's cold out, then
Yeah.
it just turns into icicles. So it's just like,
So you spill the Gatorade a little bit on you. Oh shoot! Give me another one. Oh shoot!
yeah, exactly.
Lineman.
I-
Yeesh.
But I want to ask you about about your season. Try to explain, if you can, to the viewers and listeners the playoff setup this year in 2A.
Good luck.
All right, it is okay. So I confused myself again the other day. So this is
Okay.
what I did. So we play a 10-game regular season, but technically a 9-game, and then you add a region matchup at the end. So wherever you match up in your region. So 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2. Like we would play the region with ALA, Scottsdale Prep, Parker. Like one of those teams is who will end up playing, depending on where we end up, right? You play them in week 10. And that determines who gets the bye weeks into the next week. Now,
Hold on, real quick.
What I read-
Hold on, real quick. How do you determine where you're going to play that game if you have the same record?
So no, it's a great question. So we already have 5 home games and 4 away. So the region that you're matched up with only has 4 home games. So it'll be at that region's field. So all those games will be at that region. So we will be at either Parker, Scottsdale Prep, ALA, like one of those teams. So no matter what, our last game is on the road.
Okay.
So that's how they set it up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then, so you play that game. Whoever wins that game, this is what I thought, and this is where I'm a little bit confused too. So, if you win that game, I believe you have a bye, right? If you're one of those top 8 teams and you win that game, you have a bye. Now, this is what I'm trying to figure out, was brought to my attention the other day by Coach Martin. Say you go into that game and say we're like a 4 seed or we're 4 going into that game. And then we lose, say we drop down to like a 5 or 6. I don't know if we still have a bye or not. I don't know if it's a team automatically gets a bye with that win in that region matchup, or if it's still, say you lose that game, say it's us and somebody else that's in the top 8. One of us, what if we don't move all the way out of the 8 if you win or lose that game? I don't know. It says the top 8 have a bye. So you could probably lose that last game and still be in the top 8, which would be my assumption. Could be the same as a regular season game. But if you win that game, you for sure would have a bye.
Are they still using power rankings?
Yeah, so it's all power points and power rankings. So so that's kind of like, we're doing this week 10 game, but I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird, because why would we want to go play a team that could be a Final Four team? Like 2 Final Four teams could be playing the week before you go into the playoffs, and you're playing like literally right there. Or what if you win and you lose, and all of a sudden you're matched up in like the second round again with that team?
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't know how all the chips are going to fall. Usually you can start to see week 7, week 8, week 9, you can really go in, and there's some mathematician guys, not me, not Coach Clark for sure, but he'll try to figure it out. But they'll go in and try to figure out, okay, this is kind of where we're going to be at. If they lose, they can almost figure it out. I don't think anybody's going to be able to really figure that out this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's easier than I think, but we're just here to play football, and who we play is who we play. And I don't know.
Okay.
There's my answer.
And by the way, real quick, the thing that Coach Clark and Sheehan have in common, they both went to school in Kingman.
Yes, they did. That's why we're geniuses.
That explains it. I was just looking it up because I know, Max Preps is doing their rankings and things like that. Last one came out on the 21st. I just thought it was cute that he was downplaying where they're going to rank it. He's like, when we're in 4th place, he's ranked number 1 right now in the rankings in 2A.
Well, we could lose. We could lose. I honestly,
I'm giving you a hard
listen.
time. Yeah.
I told the boys this last night. I don't want to lose, but this team might need a loss to get hit in the mouth to get ready for the playoffs.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was going to ask you on your mindset, right? Because you have Chino Valley this week, Cortez next week.
Mm-hmm.
Chino Valley matched up with Cortez a couple weeks ago. It was a 46-45 ball game, I think, if I remember correctly. Yep. So, you got those 2 guys battling it out coming up into that. Then, like you said, your last 2 home games are against teams that right now have, they're 4-1, maybe 3-2, and scoring a lot of points and stuff like that. So going into this game, I mean, you're dealing with 16, 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds, low 18-year-olds. You've let's face it, you've had it kind of easy in terms of games. Guys are getting out of the games in the third quarter. They're probably not going to get pulled in the third quarter in this game. So what's the mindset for you to get these guys focused moving into this game and realizing that this isn't probably going to be a 66-3 type ball game?
That's what we've been kind of talking about. We've been harping about it, and like we kind of went into practice yesterday, and Dale knows when you go full pads, people are not in the happiest. Like I usually go shells a lot, and we just have our shoulder pads on, no pants. I made them go full pads yesterday because we're trying to prepare. And like we said in the past, I think I said it last week, we're competing now. So what we're trying to do is our sessions turn into best of 5 offense versus defense. We could almost platoon offense and defense. So we almost have like probably 9 of our starting defenders against our starting offense. And we're doing a best of 5 series. And whoever loses, like I said last week, the coaches got to run. So we're trying to compare all times and beat each other up and to get ready for Friday nights. But I just think I know Chino Valley is going to give us a little bit better of a run. They're going to come and hit us in the mouth. I hope our boys are ready and we're not looking like past things. We're not looking at, it's a hard thing to do when you've won the last two. And this is probably like my hardest year that I've coached here. Well, I don't know if last year could be beat, but it's the hardest year mentally in the middle of the season to make sure these guys are bought in. They obviously know how to win state championships. They know how to do that. But like to stay grounded when you're beating teams like we have been, like to be able to get ready for the good teams, it's tough. Like I feel like it's a mental thing that I'm constantly challenging these guys with. And it's hard because I challenge them. We get up for a game. We'll beat somebody. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't know if they really believe coach anymore, but I got to find these like little like motivations to get them
They start
going.
to tune you out, right?
It's actually tough. It's
Yeah,
tough.
I mean,
I think Chino Valley is going to be a good one for
Yeah,
us.
Chino Valley's 4-1. Cortez is, I believe, 4-1. They might be 3-2 now. Phoenix Christian's 5-0 right now. Camp Verde's 4-1. So that's your next 4 games coming up here, and 2 of those are on the road. On top of it, So, and that's kind of what that's the challenge I think that you got, and good luck to you. That's why you're the coach.
A couple things.
It's the mental part of it.
Yeah. Hey, well, a couple things, Mike, and that's. And I've told these stories before too. Jimmy Johnson was so great at the fact that when we were really, really good, you'd walk out of a loss because we'd lose 3 or 4 games a year. You'd walk out of a loss, film session, not feeling bad about yourself. But many film sessions that we won, he was a stickler and harder on us when we won because he always said, "Hey, that misstep that you got away with this week, that might not work next week." And so a lot of times he was harder on us when we didn't appreciate it. It's not like, oh, I love coach because he's, jumping our rear ends after a win. But I think that does bode well for a football team.
Yeah. I think I feel like I have that mentality. And I actually told the boys the other day, I go, listen, like, I'm not trying to be this hard all the time. But like, if I'm not, and we become lax in these winning moments, then we're not going to be ready for those like teams that are going to hit us in the mouth. So like, I feel like I think you're right. It's interesting to go through that because you need those losses. Like you do need those losses. You need those challenges. But when you're not like getting what you need, I think as a coach, seeing that the boys aren't getting that, like, I'm like probably harder on them right now. Like yesterday we ran more than we've ever ran before. Like I'm finding other things to like try to perfect, and you can never be perfect in anything, but like I'm finding little things now. Now we lost a bunch of our skull caps that we use for scrimmage stuff. I was mad about that. So we're running 35 sprints because those are missing. They got to find those today. Like I am finding things to challenge these guys, to make them better men, to make them like kind of check in and pay attention to the little things. Like that's a little thing. It's a stupid little thing, but in the grand scheme of things, it's huge because we got to stay, grounded.
Well, they're not going to like you. It was yesterday, Tuesday. So they probably didn't like you driving home last night. But Thanksgiving time in November, they will be able to look back and appreciate the times that you probably are looking for things. Maybe there's nothing. But maybe you're looking for things that you can conjure up in your mind to jump on them about. They'll appreciate it.
You might.
Well, they call me out on that all the time.
Yeah.
They'll. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead. They call me out because they're like, "You've never said anything about this before." Well, I wasn't annoyed about it before because I was worried about other stuff. So now I'm annoyed. So yes, there's those moments all the time.
You're kind of young. I don't remember if you remember. I was kind of young when it happened too. But just go back and study Lou Holtz when he was at Notre Dame, when they were winning those championship years, because every game he was like, they can come and beat us, and then they'd win like 100-7 or something, and then the next week was, I told you guys they'd be in this game, and we gave up a touchdown and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the hard part though, right? Especially with young kids, they know everything. We all know this as parents; they know everything, and all that. And there's a danger of them tuning you out. So, is the first quarter this week going to be the important thing you're going to be paying attention to, and how they come out, the warm-ups, etc., to make sure they're ready to go?
Absolutely, especially like a road game, especially since that Week 10 game is going to be a road game. It's important how you come out on the road, right? So if if say we got to go to Parker, that's a 3-hour drive. How do we do that right now? How do we come out now? How can I gauge how the boys can travel and get prepared real quick, get off the bus, get ready to go and see what we could do. But it's a challenge for sure.
All right, before we let you go, we got to give you a moment to crow a little bit. Who was that team that was in the Windy City last week? Because I didn't recognize them. I mean, your quarterback doesn't have fingernail polish anymore. What is going on in the Windy City?
They are who we thought they were. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So they are who we thought they were. They got Ben Johnson calling the plays, being creative. Caleb only took a couple weeks. The offensive line is giving. He only got sacked once, I think, right? I think once. Roma Dunze is going off. Swift is running hard. The defense is okay. Stevenson's getting better instead of waving to the fans and letting someone throw a Hail Mary over them. But I think in as much as we talk about it, I think coaching makes a difference. And it's not, I'm not necessarily talking about myself, but coaching makes a difference. And even at the NFL level, right? They'll these guys got to be harder to coach even when you were there. Like, you guys probably wanted to listen. These guys want their bags. They want this stuff. They want the notoriety. They want the stats. But I think if the right coach can go in and grab a team and really get them working as a team, it doesn't matter what level you're at. NFL is probably the hardest place to do that. But I think Ben Johnson's got that. He seems like a pretty good guy, but also a hardcore guy and a super intelligent guy. So I feel like he's a good leader for that squad. And Caleb probably needed it. Eberflus went on. He was a defense coordinator for the Cowboys this year. He was the Bears head coach last year. He was talking about how much he knew the Bears. And they decided to go put up as many points as humanly possible on them right now and teach them a lesson. So I think it's a difference in coaching and getting these kids bought in. These kids, yeah, they're kids, right? Getting these kids bought in to that system and to that program.
Yeah, and when you talk about coaching, awesome. All you have to do is look at quarterbacks, and you see, a guy who sees ghosts with the New York Jets, and he goes to Minnesota and he leads them to 14 victories. You see, and so you see that a lot of times, and so it'll be fascinating to see how Chicago ends up this season. But they had a nice win.
They're going to playoffs. We're the dark horse.
There we go again.
I'm going all in on them right now. I'm not a betting man. I don't bet.
Right.
I don't bet.
Well, except for we have a dinner bet on the 8-8. So
I'm going all in because they are who we thought they were, and they're going to be freaking good, and I love them.
Are you gonna have tattooed below your Chicago Bears tattoo?
We don't need to talk about
the 2025 playoffs.
That was laser removed. That was laser removed.
That C's going to be droopy here in another couple years.
We don't need to talk about it. People are already don't like me for other things. We don't need to give them fun stuff to make fun of me for.
We're going to need a picture of that tattoo. That's all I'm going to say.
No, it goes nowhere.
I would actually.
I got it in Sholo when I was 18 at a biker tattoo shop that was in a neighborhood. Yeah. It needs to be going nowhere.
I know. Just what you want. You want to go to Sholo when you're 18. You're going to go to Sholo, the vacation capital of the world for old people, to get a tattoo. Some retired tattoo guy's like, I guess I can see if I still got it. Come on over here, kid.
Hey, I was young. You know what
I can't wait till you're my age and that C. They're like, so whose logo is that?
It's gonna look like a Green Bay Packers. So much sag.
It's gonna be like a G. Oh, I didn't know you were a Packer fan. Oh goodness. All right. Hey, good luck to you on Friday.
Appreciate you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. Right. Good talk today. I got some laughing tears.
Yeah, we'll be watching, of course, big game, then Cortez after that. So looking forward to the 4 next weeks of the season and all of that. So we'll see you next week, Wednesdays at 9:00.
Yes, sir. I can't wait to go back, and I got to rewind a little bit and listen to you talk about some umpires. That was intense. I'm going to go back to that here in a minute.
Dale, for a guy that acts like umpires never mess up.
I've never criticized a ref, Mike.
See,
you know that.
Me nuts.
Oh, yeah, right, dude. Geez, you're the one that got me. Didn't I get kicked out for you or something stupid?
Yeah, you did.
Dumb.
You were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it's just like, and I don't sound like that guy, and it comes from much higher, so it's coming down instead of straight. And they thought it was me, but anyways, so
Yeah, go back and watch it. It's just crybaby umpires are going to be double checked by a computer, and I can't wait for it. To watch the 12-year-old attitude of an umpire when he gets checked multiple times during a game. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
I will say this, and I know I'm done, but MLB umpires do seem like they're way worse than NFL umpires. I would say that. I feel like they do want it about themselves. Those umpires, like, I feel like they've had everything taken away from them, so they still battle for more. They're trying to be more important because they're almost gone. They're almost obsolete in ways.
Just
Yeah,
about.
they have two spots on the committee, and both umpire spots voted no on this. Yeah, because they're like, nobody better double check us. Well, it's coming, buddies. So.
Yep.
It's all based off of the Blue Jays Springer. You didn't see that yesterday. Blue Jays Springer just rung up because he showed up an umpire at third and made the wrong call, and then the umpire called him out because he was like, "You're not going to show us up." And it was just
all right.
stupid.
He's going back in.
Stupid.
I gotta go.
He's got to go golf.
Yeah.
You got to go get your team ready for tomorrow night or Friday night.
Yeah.
See you, Mike. See you next week.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Bye. For everybody else, Dale's taking off and playing golf. I'll get you going through here with the NFL. Kyler said something yesterday.
Oh, I didn't get to hear it.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. I don't need to hear your excuses on Kyler Murray. No, and then, of course, the injury reports and more. So come on back. It's the main event. And we're back here. Main event. Wednesdays, of course, Coach Sheehan from Scottsdale Christian Academy just joined us. Always a good segment with a successful coach, successful team out there. And we're not kidding here. I know we said it during the interview for them, but this schedule gets a little bit more difficult here. And the thing I don't get on the rankings, right? And, Dale tells me all the time on the 2A rankings, it's all based off of strength of schedule and things like that. They have Scottsdale Christian Academy as the number one ranked team in Division 2A right now. Santan Charter at 4-1 is number 2. Pima at 1-4 is 3. Now, of course, Pima's played some really good teams so far this year. Then you got Morenci there at 4, 3-2. But then you scroll all the way down. Camp Verde, who Scottsdale Christian Academy has as their fourth game coming up in this 4-game stretch. At home, they're 4-1. They're 10th coming up here. But then you scroll down and you're like, wait a minute, where's Chino Valley at? 4-1 on the season. They lost 58-6 to Arizona Lutheran, which is they run that wing T offense, if they still do. I know they did a couple years ago. They went up there and lost 58-6. Chino Valley did. And then they've had a couple blowouts, and then they barely beat Cortez on the list. And then last week they had a comfortable win there before coming in here. But yeah, they're ranked in this listing 21 on this ranking. So I know it's based off strength of schedules, but it just kind of makes you just think about it a little bit more going into this weekend. Coach, and don't let your players see this segment because then they'll be like, oh, it's going to be an easy game. we don't need to see that at all. Cortez, by the way, ranked 29th. They're actually 1-4 on the season now for them, but they played Chino Valley really, really close, and that's the next opponent for them coming up. Then they got Phoenix Christian, who's 5-0. I think that's going to be the biggest test coming up for Scottsdale Christian Academy, a big test for them. Then they go from there. So it does get harder now. We'll see where they go. It's going to be a fun Friday night watching them play up there in Chino Valley with their luxury bus that they're taking up there. Also, kids today, man, we should just plop us on the school buses, and we just sit in those uncomfortable seats on a road trip and everything, but. Diamondbacks, fun game last night. Of course, they continue on. Mercury continue. I mean, Dale had to take off. He says he's playing golf. I made him take off his Jonas Brothers shirt before the show. It's just embarrassing that he wears that thing all the time. And they're moving that concert. He's concerned about that. So he's taking a day off because if he's got to move it from Sunday to Monday, well, that's an issue. For Dale in his schedule, he's got to work it out. So that's really what he's doing. He's not going to go play golf. He's going to go work that out. Just keep it between us. Don't tell him that he's doing that, right? NFL news: Kyler Murray talked to the media yesterday. And there's just There's a lot of stuff going around about the offensive play calls, not just the play calling, but the scheme of the offense, right? To check down offense. Receivers are not in play and all. For those of you that defend Drew Penzing, a thing I never hear from people that defend Drew Penzing is, why doesn't he include the receivers more? Now, a lot of people will blame Kyler Murray. Oh, Kyler Murray doesn't look at him, stuff like that. Probably a combination of both, right? It's not all one man's fault here. That's why I don't call for Drew Penzing's job at this point. It's more of get him some help. Go get a consultant, an offensive consultant in here that can help him scheme some plays, design some stuff differently. Because I think all of us, including Jonathan Gannon in his press conference today, talked more about the execution than he did the play calls from the players. But that's issue number 2, right? Play calls are one thing. Execution from the team is another. It's lacking on the offensive side. From the linemen, as Dale talks about, the offensive linemen, to the receivers dropping balls, to the running backs dropping balls and not being able to get a running game going. There's fundamental failures on this offensive side. And sometimes, and it's not a knock on Drew Penny, young coordinator. They don't have the experience, right? You get a coordinator, God bless him, that's 60 years old. He's seen some things in his NFL days, in his football days. They know how they kind of got around it, or maybe they didn't fix it last time, but they have ideas how to get out of here. That's what I'm saying. Get him some help out there. But, that continues on. Kyler Murray talks yesterday, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I watch Kyler Murray's press conference every week, and it's just Kyler Murray, God bless him. It's not an exciting man, right, when he talks. Like I told you earlier in the show, they asked him about the uniforms on Thursday. These are the rivalry jerseys they're going to play. So those new helmets with that reddish white, I call it kind of an orange bird on the top. I think those are sweet looking. Saw those in the team shop and saw those. They look sweet. The uniforms don't do anything for me. I think they're kind of ugly. It's just blots on a white uniform, like on a off-white uniform. It's just, I don't like it. People walk around with them. See him in the team shop. Not for me. I even asked Ethan, right? Because it's not for your generation, Steve. Even Ethan was like, I don't care for it too much, right? But they asked Kyler Murray about the uniforms. He goes, I don't care what we wear. I'm just here to get the W. Just says it matter-of-factly, moved on type of thing. And then they asked him about getting the balls to the wide receivers in this offense, right? And things like that. I feel like the question was kind of leading towards like are you confident in your receivers? How do you get them the ball more? How do you get them more involved in the offense type of questioning, right? Well, Kyler Murray's response to that kind of line of questioning, here's Kyler Murray.
I talk to those dudes every day, literally on and off the field. My thing is, I'm trying to build confidence each and every day, and continue to give my guys opportunities when they're there. I'm gonna continue to do that. Obviously Drew makes the calls, and then we got to go out there and execute. But whenever the opportunity presents itself, or the chances are there, I'm definitely gonna give my guys opportunities.
Did you catch it? Something caught my ear in that statement. When he's talking there, Vern, he talks to not just the receivers, but he talks to the offensive coordinator every day. Kobe, be ready to play that again, because now that you heard it one time, I was just sitting here and I was literally like doing some other stuff, listening to it, and then I heard that, and I just kind of peeked up a little bit. Dale will make fun of me if he was here right now about what I took out of this. Play it one more time. For now that you've heard it, and most of you, if not all of you, are going, what could Steve have a problem with here? Play it one more time, Kobe. Let's hear Kyler talk about it.
I talk to those dudes every day, literally on and off the field. My thing is, I'm trying to build confidence each and every day, and continue to give my guys opportunities when they're there. I'm gonna continue to do that. Obviously Drew makes the calls, and then we got to go out there and execute. But whenever the opportunity presents itself, or the chances are there, I'm definitely gonna give my guys opportunities.
One, he's trying to build confidence every day. Says that. That's one. There's actually two things here. I'm out there trying to build confidence every day. Is he talking about his confidence with his receivers? Or is he talking about the receivers' confidence in catching passes in this offense, and what receivers need to do in this offense, where receivers need to be to get the ball in this offense? Quarterback's job is to build the confidence out there, right? That's their job. You want to put the ball where your receivers like them. You watched Hard Knocks this year. Josh Allen has a new receiver up there. A big portion of, I think it was the second episode, might have been the first one, was he worked with that receiver after practice, asking him, where do you want the ball on these types of plays? You want them up high? Do you want them on your right shoulder, your left shoulder? And they worked on it to get the confidence down between the mechanism and everything. We're week 4 into the season. You're still trying to build confidence? Struck me as a nerve. It struck me when he said that, that was the first thing where I kind of went, whoa, what? I think this offense is missing confidence right now. I think there's some confusion in this offense. Now, is it the receivers not knowing the routes? Is it Marvin Harrison Jr. not knowing his routes? D. McCarter, go back and watch his drop. His feet get kind of tangled up. He's not sure, like he's reaching back for it. A lot of thinking, a lot of questioning in this offense to the point where they look lost, including the offensive line and blocking schemes. The hesitation out there because there's a lot of thinking going on. Confidence isn't high on this offense. Kyler Murray there points to it, and Kyler Murray says, I'm trying to build confidence every day. One, shocked me there. Number 2, the other thing he said, because it mirrors what Jonathan Gannon said earlier this week. Jonathan Gannon put it on the execution of the players on the field more than the play calling and the plays being put in there, in the scheme. Execution is what he focused on. So you weren't blaming your offensive coordinator. You kind of put blame on him, but you're also blaming the players who are dropping balls and stuff like that. So execution was the word. You heard Kyler Murray say it right there. Drew calls the plays. It's our job to go execute them out there. If you don't have confidence in the plays, your receivers don't know what to do in the plays, your offensive line can't block on a play. Drew calls the plays, but where's the confidence? One job of an offensive coordinator. And this is the question I have for Dale. We'll bring it up tomorrow before, while he's here in that first half an hour. Offensive coordinators can give you confidence with their play calls and set you up for success. An offensive coordinator can also ruin your confidence. If you're not sure what he's calling, if you're not sure what's coming up, you're not sure the ball's coming to you, they can do that. So Kyler Murray, the second thing that caught my ear was Drew calls the plays. It's our job to go execute it. That's exactly the system that's out there. Are the right plays being called to give this team offense confidence? Or are they just not confident and they don't know how to get out of it? He calls a play in and then everything goes sideways and then everybody's kind of confused on where they need to be. To the point where they're thinking too much and then they're not catching simple balls now. It's something huge. Confidence will take you a long way. Dale talks about it all the time. First year they went to the Super Bowl, was that 92? They got confidence as that year went on. Then they had no Super Bowl aspirations. As the season went on, they gained confidence, and it propels them out there. Eventual Super Bowl victory for their first one. Confidence can take you places. And this offense, so the big word coming out is execution's not happening. Not from Drew Penzing. Drew Penzing's like, drops happen. But from Jonathan Gannon, now Kyler Murray, execution's used. Confidence is used. And those two people specifically. Drew Penzing, drops happen. You gotta play around drops. There's something happening. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying Drew Penzing's getting fired. I think he makes it through the rest of the season unless something horribly bad happens. But there are talks happening. There are conversations happening in this locker room on the offensive side because they need to find confidence. 3-yard slam pattern to Marvin Harrison Jr. early in this game. Get him involved early. Wide receiver screen, right? Kyler Murray takes the snap and shotgun, literally turns, throws the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got another receiver in front of him blocking, catches the ball, even if it's a 1 or 2 yard gain. Confidence. It's your offensive lineup for confidence. The Seahawks are really good against the run, folks. You just lost James Conner. We'll talk more Cardinals tomorrow, obviously, before Luke comes in, since it's a Thursday night game. The Seahawks are really stout, and they want to stop the run. They stop the run. You're missing James Conner. You're going to have problems running the ball on Thursday. You know that going into the game. Doesn't mean you don't try to do it. Doesn't mean you keep doing it. Doesn't mean you don't try to do it. You just do it. And then it opens up the running game or passing game, hopefully. But you've got to get confidence on these guys. You're probably without Zay Jones. Concussion protocol means you're out for a little bit. Mandatory. Thursday game is short. You're down a receiver probably. You're down your big running back. Your physical running back out there. This is going to be interesting to see because on Sunday after the game, you guys know I'm not a fan of Drew Penzing's offense. I'm just not. It's a predictable, it's a boring offense. No imagination to it whatsoever. If the drunk guy 7 beers deep, 2 rows in front of me can call out what you're doing on the field, you're not an imaginative offense. And then I watched the Ravens. I watched the Lions. I watched the Vikings with Carson Wentz. There's imagination to these offenses. There's plays out there to get guys open. Throw Carolina in this mix. There's imagination to get the ball to the guys. We saw it with the Niners last week. Ricky Pearsall. Was it 8 catches, 100 and something yards? Get the ball to your star receiver early. Not just him. Get it spread around a little bit. Get Greg Dortch early. Do a flare pass out of the backfield to Greg Dortch. And see what he can do out there. Confidence is what this team offense is missing. And after that loss in San Francisco, confidence has to be a little bit farther down. Then on top of it, Thursday night game against a division foe who has a really good front seven. And they will stop the run. Confidence early, confidence moving forward. I don't know what to take on it. We'll see coming up here, but I do find it interesting. Kyler Murray and Coach Gannon are the two people talking about confidence and two people talking about execution. Something to see here coming up on Thursday. Injury report come out on short weeks. They don't practice per se, right? They do their treatments. They, heal up their bodies. Cardinals are at home. Thursday night games are tough for road people. Doesn't mean Seattle's going to come in and struggle, right? Cardinals don't win games big here either coming into this, right? And everything. But we do have an injury report out there. They put it out every day. It's kind of like a hypothetical injury report going into Thursday night out there. Kelvin Beachum out. Did not practice. It was rest for him. He has that knee. He's watching that knee out there. But basically a Veterans Day off. He started last week. Will Paris Johnson play this week, right? What's Beachum going to be at? Is he going to play? William Paris Johnson Jr. was limited, right? Quote unquote limited if there was a practice with his knee as well. Will Hernandez also with his knee is limited coming up here. I'm not saying Will Hernandez is going to start. If Will Hernandez, he should be ready to play by now. I don't know. I'm not there. But if you didn't put him on IR, you didn't put him on IR because you thought you could use him before in that 4-game window before he's off of IR and comes back. Then there's a ramp-up period, etc. Is Will Hernandez ready to play? If he's remotely ready to play, I think he needs to go into this game at points. Get him out there, get some hits, etc. Get him all lathered up for the rest of the season coming up here. You need some toughness on this line, and you need somebody specifically on the guard side of things that's going to do some damage here because the Seahawks are going to focus on stopping the running game of the Cardinals. The other big guys, Davis Gaither, elbow. He got hit. He got hit by a helmet by his own player. Friendly fire in that Niners game late. He's limited there yesterday as well. Evan Brown, offensive lineman, limited as well for him. Ankle problem. Kelvin Beachum, as I said, knee, did not practice. That's just standard rest for him. Will Johnson is still not practicing with that groin. Does Will Johnson come back this week? Groins are something that can make it worse. I know it's a different sport, things like that, but the nearest example is Caitlin Clark. She came back from her groin injury. It lingers a little bit, just like a hamstring will, probably worse than a hamstring. So don't mess around with it. If he needs another week off, give Will Johnson another week off, especially on a short week. Now, you'll get 10 days off afterwards, but we don't need Will Johnson going out there trying to go and tearing it and then being out for the season when he can be back in a couple weeks. So something to monitor there. Zay Jones, I told you, concussion. Obviously wouldn't practice this week with it. Tells me he's out. Concussions have specific things to get back out there. One of them is you have to be symptom-free for X amount of days. And then some other things kick in. For a Thursday night game, I just don't know if it's possible for that to happen. Right? But what's up with Paris Johnson Jr.? Is he going to be able to come back? Will Hernandez able to come back on Thursday night? This offensive line needs to figure it out. These receivers need to figure it out. Execution, like Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon are talking about. You saw. I'm watching the All 22 on NFL Plus. In the third quarter, it's amazing how in that third quarter, and the offensive coordinator, Drew Penzing, brought this up. We throw it downfield. Look at our third quarter plays. But where's that in the first and second quarter? He has the ability to open the playbook up when he wants to. And that third quarter was when he wanted to in that game. You need to do it earlier. Get some confidence in this bunch, man, coming up here as well. Movement yesterday by the Cardinals as well. No shocker. James Conner out for the season, moved to IR. That move was obviously not a surprise. What did surprise me, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it did surprise me they didn't move up Michael Carter, elevate him from the practice squad. If he's not elevated up for the game this week, I don't know. Doesn't that say they like Michael Carter, but not a lot, right? Weird. It's weird how that worked. Now, it's early in the week. He's still practicing. You don't have to move him up, I think, until, was it Friday or maybe it's Saturday morning? You have to move him up at that point is what you got to worry about as well. So you basically right now, as of now, you have DeMarcado, Bam Knight on this team for running backs as well. Then, of course, Trey Benson as well, your 3 running backs. You cannot go into this game with 3 running backs against the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to try to stop the run. I think you need that 4th running back on the slot roster this weekend in case somebody gets dinged up, has to come out of the game. You have ample guys behind there, and I want to see some things, right? James Conner runs up the middle, gets stuffed, but he's a hard runner, etc. Trey Benson can sometimes dance a little bit, get out there. DeMarcado, 3rd down back, get him out there, pass him the ball, get him out in the open, see what he can do. I'm wondering, Bam Knight in the preseason was a physical running back. I'm not saying he's going to be James Carter with this statement. Can he be that physical guy? You put him in there, hand him the ball, and just let him go attack that defensive line. Wear him down as the game goes on in certain situations. Be interesting to see on that. But Michael Carter can be that other big back that, like DeMarcado, can get out, catch some balls, get out into the wide open, and make some things happen. So we'll have to keep our eyes on Michael Carter going into this game here this week as well, right? Those are the big moves. They moved up an offensive lineman off the practice squad yesterday as well. To Demontry. I apologize, sir. Jacobs is who was moved up off the practice squad, into that James Conner roster spot yesterday. They still have 1 spot available on the roster, by the way, as well. Jacobs played 15 games for the Patriots as a rookie last year. 13 of them were starts at right tackle. So he's got starting experience in the league. Young kid, of course. Stuff like that. So Paris Johnson doesn't come back. Will Hernandez isn't able to go again. Beachum, what is his knee condition? Right? You have somebody call up. You need that extra guy there to see where we stand coming on that side as well. So, that's the right move there. 1 spot open still. Elliott Brown was re-signed to the practice squad. He's a linebacker. Safety Patrick Morris was also signed to the practice squad yesterday for the Cardinals. So it kind of tells you on the safety side, right? Secondary's taking a beating right now, losing some guys. Melton played the game last week. Can we get Will Johnson back in a time frame? Obviously, we're missing somebody for a few weeks here on the IR side, on that backside as well. So
fill in those holes as you need to as well. A defensive lineman was released. Kyan Bars was released from the practice squad at that time as well. So something to keep in mind here as we go into the Thursday night game. We'll talk more about it as we get our final information leading up to the game tomorrow, later on today here about it. But, if the Cardinals go into this game with 3 running backs, I think that's going to be. Because you need guys, you need some creativity on this offense. Get guys confident. An offensive coordinator can get if you throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. on a 3-yard slant pattern and he drops that, I get it. Don't look at him again the rest of the game. I'm with you. I'm with you on board on that. Get him confident early. Get him involved. I'm not saying you throw to him every time. Design a play call early in this game, not second drive of the game where you look at him. Get it early and get it going coming up here. So execution, Kyler Murray, head coach Gannon talking the same thing. Along with confidence. Kyler Murray's talking about, his job is to get confidence. He phrased it as confidence every day of the week. Get people confidence in the week. We don't know who he was specifically talking to, whether it be receivers or something. So something to watch coming up into this game. Diamondbacks got tonight. Ryan Nelson's on the mound. Blake Snell tonight. Tomorrow, Dodgers have Yamamoto pitching. It's not getting easier for the Diamondbacks at all. Padres are 1.5 games, and I'll reset the Major League Baseball playoff picture for you guys tomorrow as well, in that right before Lou comes in here as well. But Lou will be remote tomorrow, but he will be here at 9 o'clock. UFC gets underway again this week, but Diamondbacks is not easy for them. Padres are 1.5 games out from the winning the division on the Dodgers. Dodgers need to start winning. Diamondbacks can do damage to them if they win. Diamondbacks have to win. Just keep it entertaining, right? One loss isn't going to be the end of it. It hurts their chances, obviously. The more you win, the better you're off. But let's see. Win 2 out of 3 in this series, and you'll technically still be in it going into the weekend, folks. And what can we say other than that's going to be fun and exciting to see? And as I said earlier, I know Dale kind of poo-pooed it. At a minimum, let's ruin, right? If you can win 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3 against the Dodgers, get the Padres up there, can ruin. You kind of hurt the Dodgers winning that division a little bit. Then you can play spoiler against the Padres this weekend as well from winning that division. So obviously division rivals. That's a fun little side note for me coming up as well for that. It's official. If we said it yesterday, Jackson Dart starting for the Giants this weekend. It's all in a matter of Dable trying to save his job. I said Dart would be in here in week 4 or week 5 of this. I think I said 5 or 6 to be honest with you. But I said early in the season, Dart will be the quarterback of the Giants. And I said the reason why that will happen is Brian Dable knows his job's on the line this year, and this is how he can save it. If Jackson Dart, not even if they don't win, if Jackson Dart goes out there, plays well, the offense starts to move the ball a little bit better than they did with Russell Wilson. He looks like good and he's learning stuff. Brian Dable might possibly be able to keep his job after this year. This is a coaching move. Then you got Cam Scatterbo with the lead running back 1 hurt there for the Giants, out 4 to 6 weeks. Cam Scatterbo is going to get more balls and playing conditions there. Brian Dable, if he plays this right and it works the way I think it's going to go, I like Jackson Dart. He's going to be a success here with the right coaching and hopefully some help here on the Giants. I think Dart's going to be a better than average quarterback in the NFL, if not move up into the really good category throughout his career. Cam Scatterbo, if he stays healthy, is going to be a really good running back in this league. The way he plays, though, can he hold up over a 17-year season, especially as he gets older, right? And things like that. But I think he's going to be a good roster addition to them as well. So, it's going to be fun to watch, right? Congrats to the Mercury last night, Diamondbacks as well. And, folks, let's keep it rolling. Of course, we're done here now. Tomorrow we'll be back. Uncle Lou joins me at 9 o'clock tomorrow. He's going to be remote tomorrow, but we'll talk UFC, NFL as well with Uncle Lou. Dale's here for the first 30, 40 minutes of the show before he goes off to do his hit at the fellow Dobson alumni, John Holmberg over there at KUPD. But it's going to be a fun Thursday. McCollum All Business coming up at 11. Of course, then you've got the Pit Stop. The Pit Stop It's planning to be recorded today. Something personal might happen. I might have to take care of. If not today, tomorrow we'll get it done. Our look-ahead show to Kansas this week. If I have to take off early today, we'll get it done tomorrow for you. So stay tuned for that. Follow it at the Pit Stop Talk. I'll do the post on there on when it'll be done for you. Hopefully the personal, everything's fine. Just I got a sick kid at home, and if he's passed out and can't pick somebody up, then I got to get other arrangements out there. So you know how it is, right? Hey, we keep it rolling. Don't forget the free YouTube channel where everything's on demand there. Search for that. Like, subscribe that. Like, subscribe the free podcast on the favorite podcast system. Catch us here at Robat TV live, 8 to 10 a.m. See y'all later, everybody.